This is the story history forgot. This is the lost chapter. Governor John White stepped onto the beach and was met with a silence that was louder than any storm. The fort his colonists had built was empty. The houses were gone, not burned, but carefully, deliberately taken apart. 115 men, women, and children had vanished. Among them was his own daughter and his infant granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in this new world. There was no sign of a battle, no graves. The only clue was a single word, carved into a wooden post. A word that would become one of history's greatest riddles, Croatoan. This mystery begins not with a disappearance, but with a dream. In the year 1587, artist and explorer John White led a group of English settlers across the treacherous Atlantic Ocean. Their mission, backed by the ambitious Sir Walter Raleigh, was bold: to establish a permanent foothold for England in the New World. A colony named Roanoke. They landed on the shores of present-day North Carolina, full of hope. They believed they were building a new beginning, a safe haven. They could not have known they were walking into a mystery that would endure for centuries. But the dream was immediately fragile. They had arrived too late in the season to plant crops. The land was unfamiliar, and survival was not guaranteed. But the most dangerous problem was one they had inherited. Relations with the local Croatoan people were already tense, damaged by the harsh actions of a previous English military group. The situation was a powder keg. And then, it ignited. A colonist named George Howe was killed by natives while hunting crabs alone on the beach. The message was clear: they were not welcome, and they were not safe. The colony was isolated, starving, and under threat. Faced with catastrophe, the colonists made a desperate choice. They needed help, and only England could provide it. They persuaded Governor White, the grandfather of the newborn baby Virginia Dare, to sail back across the ocean to bring back supplies and reinforcements. It was an unimaginably difficult decision. White was leaving his daughter and his only grandchild in a perilous wilderness. He promised he would return within a year. As his ship disappeared over the horizon, the colonists were left alone, clinging to a promise. It was a promise that would be broken by forces far beyond anyone's control. John White's return to England was a race against time, but his timing was catastrophic. He arrived as the nation faced its greatest threat, the Spanish Armada. Every single ship in England was commandeered for the war effort. The sea lanes became a battlefield. For 3 long years, White was trapped. He was a prisoner of a global war, powerless, desperately trying to secure ships for a rescue mission, while his family and friends faced an unknown fate, an ocean away. The delay would prove fatal. When White finally fought his way back to Roanoke in 1590, he found a ghost settlement. The houses had been dismantled with purpose. It looked planned, not panicked. He noted there were no cross symbols carved anywhere, a prearranged sign that would have meant they were forced to leave in danger. This was a deliberate, organized departure. And then, he found the clues. The letters CRO carved into a tree. And on a post, the full word, Croatoan. The name of a nearby island and a tribe that had been friendly. It was a message. But what did it mean? Did it point to their salvation, or was it a tragic red herring? So what truly happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? The leading theory is that, facing starvation, they split up. Some may have tried to sail back to England in a small boat and were lost at sea. Others may have traveled south to Croatoan Island and assimilated with the native people there. There are darker theories, too, that they were wiped out by a rival tribe or by Spanish soldiers who saw them as a threat. Despite centuries of research, including modern DNA analysis, no definitive evidence has ever been found. The lost colony remains a haunting open question, a permanent lost chapter in the story of America. What do you believe happened on the shores of Roanoke? The mystery is still waiting for an answer. This was one lost chapter. Subscribe, And let's uncover the next story that history forgot.